right, so this one is going to be controversial, and I know there's going to be a lot of opinions, so please put them in the comments, pro, con, whatever it might be, put those in the comments, but yeah, someone has to say it, so here we are. This week, we are going to be doing an open letter to Poshmark where we give our feedback on the Poshmark platform, along with other feedback that we've seen out in the community. I'm Shay, I'm a full-time reseller.
I'm Tyler, part-time reseller.
And before we get into all of the pros, cons, and wishes for the future, you have a t-shirt?
I do. It's If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your O, which is kind of the appropriate t-shirt for this video.
Is it?
I think it's appropriate because it's very much Poshmark. If you're happy and you know it, they don't realize that there's a problem until well after the fact.
I mean, that is fair. Okay, so to start with, Poshmark, if you're watching this, we know you're not, but we can pray. We love the platform, and this letter is coming from the perspective of somebody who makes a dominant amount of my income on Poshmark. I want Poshmark to succeed. I want to see it do well, and I think there's a lot of things to love about the platform. It's just that at this point, we're frustrated with the things that aren't doing well and the things that are being ignored. So this letter is hopefully going to give everything in one succinct video, and I hope the comment section will also be a place where people will voice their concerns or their likes or all of those type of things, and Poshmark can read through them. So do that. Leave that below, and then let's try and tag Poshmark and get this to them.
Let's start with some of the things that are positive.
Yeah, the things we love. Yeah. So, dear Poshmark, this is what we love about you.
I think the first thing is that their intention to be the one-stop shop for fashion is the right attitude. You want to have just fashion, Poshmark, and have them be interchangeable. Have them be that same thought for the shopper.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that when I started on Poshmark, well before I became a seller, this was the place that I knew I could get fashion items at a discounted rate, and I didn't even think of eBay. I used eBay for other things, but that wasn't even my consideration. It was Poshmark. I made an account specifically to get clothing on Poshmark. Yeah. So that is exactly what they should be doing, and I hope that they continue down that road.
I think they have made everything easier. They've simplified a lot of the processes. So the first one is shipping. Their shipping is super easy. You just click a button, print the label, slap it on, and you're done. It does not get simpler than that for reselling.
Yes, and I know that there are some concerns out there in the community, and Poshmark, please do listen to them, especially if it's in their comments, about the shipping rate and about the fact that when you ship a t-shirt, it can be really expensive. But on my perspective, I actually enjoy the fact that there is one shipping rate for all items on their platform, and I don't have to deal with the haggle or struggle of trying to beat out another seller. Maybe they live mid-country and they don't have to do the whole ship across country. California, I love you. You buy all my stuff, but oh my goodness, you're expensive to ship to. I like that. I really enjoy the one price, and you just know what it is and it's all set.
I think the other opportunity there for the one price is it encourages people to bundle items. So you're not going to beat Poshmark's shipping price if you're buying more than one item.
No way.
You're not at all. If you buy 2, 3, 4, 5 items, if it's under £5, there's no shipping rate that is going to compare.
Right. So we appreciate that.
So the next is ease of listing, which you definitely know more about than I do, so I will let you take it away.
Yes, so the listing on Poshmark is so easy. They give you very simple tasks to complete: the brand, the size, the color. You can put keywords in there, the title, and the description, and your price. And it's just like that, you're done and you can finish listing. There are other platforms that ask for so much more information that seems very unnecessary, and it makes me want to list on Poshmark even on the days that I'm kind of not able to list, I'm busy or whatever. I can do Poshmark. It's quick, it's simple, it's easy, and I'm done. So I really appreciate how easy it is to use.
The next thing is connecting with your buyers. So they have recently done the My Shoppers tool, which is 10 out of 10. Killed it. Understood the assignment. Yep, that is what we wanted. You want a way to reach out to past buyers, past likers, anyone that's interacted with an item in your store or your closet, because that's the way to convert to a sale, another sale, or a new sale, a second sale.
Right.
Repeat buyers. That's what you need.
Yes, so likers are such a big part of Poshmark, and it is so important that we can connect with them in more ways than one to try and convert that sale over and to open up those lines of communication. And Poshmark has done that for us in a better way than I think other platforms have. I know that other platforms have things like coupons and things like that, but it's not a direct way of communication where it can go back and forth and you can have this kind of robust conversation with a potential buyer or even a past buyer. I really appreciate that Poshmark gives this opportunity.
And the last thing, it kind of ties everything together, is the accessibility. So they've simplified it to allow more people access to the reselling world. So you can just grab something out of your closet, post it in a few minutes, and sell it. And that is a wonderful thing. Bringing in more people to the experience of reselling and making people more aware of the secondhand market in general is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. I am a full-time seller, so for me, I will jump through those extra hoops to make that extra money, but that's not going to be true for those casual sellers. And as we know, Poshmark has shown stats that sellers do become buyers very often. And plus, I mean, we've all bought on the platform. I know I have, you have.
I mean, I have for you, so does that count? Kind of, maybe?
It counts. It counts. So getting those people over to the platform is really, really helpful for us as sellers. So I think it's great. I love that. And keep being accessible. We love you for that.
Moving on. So this is intended as constructive criticism. These are more things that the idea is the right idea, but you're not doing a very good job. First one is you're pandering to men.
And congrats. First of all, men wear clothes and thrifted clothes or secondhand clothes. See, we do it. So absolutely get more men on the platform. Male shoppers are one of my favorites.
So easy. It's just a way better conversation, and it's just, yep, buy it, like it, done.
Yeah, I love male shoppers. I have a lot of male stuff in my closet. I like shopping for them. I like finding that kind of stuff. It's just great. So please bring more male shoppers. I totally love it. But I have a man here who can tell you you're going about it the wrong way.
You're doing it wrong. You're never going to compete for the electronics market. That's not a thing. Stop trying to make it a thing. Do clothing, do male focused and male oriented clothing, do jerseys, do vintage, do sneakers, do things that men want that are related to your core competency. Do fashion, but for men. It's not rocket science. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and do something that you've never done before.
Yes, and we said this in other videos, but I want to make sure it's all in this video. If you want to find a male shopper, find men where they are. Don't try and make an advertisement for something you think they want. Just be where they are. They're on Reddit. They're on TV.
Sports shows. Football, basketball, baseball.
All that type of stuff.
Advertise there if you want male shoppers. That's where you're going to find them.
Yes. So find the male shoppers and target them for clothing. Please. Thank you. Next
up, for the good intentioned ideas that are done terribly, is sharing. Everyone hates sharing. It's universally not a popular.
We're not fans, but stay with us because we're not saying that it's the wrong idea. We're saying it's the wrong execution.
Yeah. So I do very much agree that sharing can be a wonderful and positive thing for Poshmark in that if you share your item and show that you are active, you are more likely to make that sale, which provides a better buyer experience because they have more confidence that the item that they've selected is going to arrive, is going to ship in a timely fashion, and they're going to have a better experience. On that note, there are a lot of problems with sharing. The biggest is that their share tool doesn't work.
No.
They have failed when other people that have coded bots and made programs have succeeded. And there's no real reason that they either can't beat that because it's their platform, or if they can't find a way to make a better version of a share tool, just team up with somebody that already has an existing share tool. That's the easiest thing to do. Say, hey, you have something that our users are all about using. We will give you the exclusivity to be the premier one on our platform. We want to integrate it into our system. So you're going to have to work with us to make it work even better.
So some of the things that they have that you don't for sharing is scheduling. I know that it might not sound super important, but for somebody who's full-time, it is really important that you can set it and forget it. And there are other things like the speed of sharing. So with your share tool, it is very slow. It is faster than it was before, of course, and thank you for that, but it is still quite slow. And it does still require solving CAPTCHAs, which means you have to sit there when you're running a full-time business. That is very difficult to do. So sharing could be great. Just please make it more accessible for your full-time sellers.
Right. I mean, the other part of that is that you get more engagement if you're using manual shares or an outside bot than you are for their bulk share tool. There are ways that you could do that where you could have an opt-in to this, yes, my items are active for the day and you're done, or just something different or something better than what we have.
So to kind of segue a little bit on this topic though, with your sharing, one of the things we like about this concept is that it allows you to see who is an active seller for when you're purchasing. And unfortunately, now that things have switched to relevancy matched with sharing, those inactive closets are getting promoted in some way or another. And I do understand. We saw the Reddit post and we know that the reason that you are allowing inactive closets to have sales is because you are hoping that when this person gets a sale, they come back on and they reactivate, and you say you have stats that show that that happens, and that's great. But for us as sellers and for the buyers, it's creating a poor experience on the times that it doesn't happen. When they do not reactivate, they do not come back. So we would ask that instead of showing inactive items, you do something else to try and entice them. Maybe give them a credit for coming back if they list so many items today and they come back, or maybe just a credit for sharing their items that day. Something like that after a certain amount of time. Other companies do this. They send out coupons to entice somebody to come back. They give a discount if items are left in a shopping cart. Do that instead of creating bad buyer experience. It not only hurts the buyer that's currently purchasing, but it also is word of mouth. People hear that people don't ship on Poshmark and then nobody comes.
The next thing is the search. So the search is a great concept. You need a search to have an online store.
Really? Like having a search function? Huh.
Yes. The search also does not work very well.
No. Or at all, I mean.
Yes. My problem is that I've only ever used Poshmark to buy gifts from my wife. And all of the time, it defaults to my sizing and the male category, which I appreciate their thought process on that, but it's not an effective use of my time to then have to go in and go, no, I want to look at dresses, or I want to look at women's jeans.
The other problem that I have with it is that I can't use my size filter. If I have my size filter on, no relevant results ever come up. I have to turn it off to get the relevant results. Now, I do understand, Poshmark, that you are working on the search function. You've been revamping it. You've been tweaking it. It's been changing. We've seen the changes. But could you maybe do that in a way that doesn't impact our business so significantly? I don't know if there's a testing environment you can use or something like that, but impacting businesses while trying to find a search function that works is really difficult. And I hope that you hear us when we say that.
Next is trends. So trends is a great idea because you always are looking for that new trendy thing. It's just, you have to stay on top of your trends. You try to have to anticipate the trends. You want to be the first person to have that new hot trend in your closet. You want to be able to be the first one there so that you're the person that is the first sold.
Right. And it's also a new place for buyers to find you. If somebody really likes a certain trend, they can go to that and they can look through it. That's great. But again, this is just not quite executed properly.
I would very much need more information. I want to see some kind of data, or I want to see specifically what you are noticing on the platform for the best-selling or most popular sold jeans for this time period. So you're seeing wide leg jeans, you're seeing skinny jeans, you're seeing high rise. What is that? What is making the most sales? And showcase that with the numbers. I want to see the second place. I want to see third place. I want to know how things rank. I want to be able to tweak things and see if a quick change or size makes a difference. I want to know that information, and you have that information.
And I've got to be honest with you, I look at the trends every day, and the Row shoes, for example, is not a trend. That is a brand that happens to sell for a lot of money, but that is not a trend. So I want to know how these trends are being figured out. Like, what are you doing to get that?
Going off of that and having the most popular best-selling item, I want to have confidence that that is the correct item that is popular. I don't want to know that this one item sold for a bunch of money. I want to know that they're selling consistently and they're selling more than other brands or other styles. I want to know that high-rise jeans are selling at twice the speed as wide leg or skinny jeans. I want to know how much better they're performing.
So kind of along the lines of trends is seller insights. So I really love the fact that you've finally given us stats. That's amazing, and we need more of them. Yes. Love the fact that there's stats. So now that I know that you have the stats for individual closets and you're able to break it down that way, I would really appreciate being able to manipulate those stats the way that I need to for my business. What I would like to see is a CSV file. I just want to see just a simple, you can download these stats, because just like with trends, what I'm noticing is, for example, when you give me my top selling brand, you're giving me a brand that happened to sell for a lot of money, but I only had one of. That's not my top selling brand. So I want to be able to play with these numbers so that I can make it work best for me and how I need that information.
I'm fine with just adding that in. Or the other alternative is just give us more to work with. So right now, it's a step in the right direction, and thank you for doing it, but it needs to be built out and we need more. We need more information.
This part is going to be just the stuff that just get rid of it.
Kill it with fire.
We don't need it. We don't want it. Nobody asked for this. Please. So starting with stories. So I don't know if there's anybody out there that uses these stories. I have a feeling this was a response to Instagram stories. And as a reminder, Poshmark, you're a selling platform, not a social media platform. So I don't know why you're competing with them, but you don't need to. We don't need that. No one is shopping through stories. If they are, I promise you they'll still shop other ways. This is just more work for the sellers.
It's an instance of having that split personality of wanting to be social media with selling. Do one and have a social aspect as an add-on, but do focus on the core selling an item. That's how you make revenue right now, is you sell things. That's what you do, and focus on that. Make it the one place you can go to buy clothing, and it won't matter that you have to compete with Instagram or Facebook or any social media platform, because that's not what you're doing.
To go off of that and to move into another thing that should be killed with fire is the community aspect. Now, I know there's going to be people in the comments that say that they love the community side of Poshmark, they love being involved, and so what I'm saying here is kill it where it doesn't involve my business at all. So if you want to have a community side to the platform to engage people, that's cool, but make it separate from the selling requirements. We know from experience that if we don't engage with other closets, we see a decrease in activity. Now, this is hotly debated, and I'm sure Poshmark themselves will probably deny that that is true. However, Poshmark has tied community shares to Poshmark Ambassador too. So they are proving that they want their sellers to do this. Yep. And we know from experience that they are absolutely tying our sales to this. Please stop. You're not a social media platform. We are sellers. We want to sell. We're not here to make friends. We're here to sell an item. So let's separate that and get back to the focus of selling fashion.
You can have that separate from the sales aspect. You can have community. There's ways to build community engagement that is separate from the selling side and the dollar side of the business. And that's all we're asking. We want just a way to have a partition, a wall built so that you can engage in the community aspect whenever you want, but it doesn't drag down your sales if you just want to focus on the sell side.
All right, so this one is going to be controversial, and I know there's going to be a lot of opinions, so please put them in the comments, pro, con, whatever it might be, put those in the comments. But yeah, someone has to say it, so here we are.
The live auctions are the single worst idea that Poshmark has ever had for their platform. Full stop, no exception, just why?
Okay, so I am not as strong on the opinions as that one. I will say there is a place for live auctions. Whatnot seems to be that place. It works great for people that have that business model, whether it's the following, whether it's the margin, whether it's just the joy of being live, all of these type of things. It works for people. It does not work for my business model for a lot of reasons, but frankly, I just don't want to do it, okay? So that's what it comes down to for me. And I don't understand how this goes with Poshmark's mission statement. We've been saying throughout this video that one of the greatest things about Poshmark is they are marketed as being the app that can be used for anyone, everywhere, just selling something out of their closet. This is a great app for that. And they've done a great job with that in a lot of ways. But this doesn't do that. For lives, you need to prepare. You need to have good inventory that's going to draw an audience. You need to market that live. There's a lot of prep that goes into that for an average person. This isn't that.
I think it comes down to a fundamental disconnect between what Poshmark should be and what they see Poshmark being at some point. Poshmark very much, and we've talked about it for this entire video, what they want to do is do everything, and that's the wrong method. It's the wrong strategy. They should be perfecting selling clothing and make it so incredibly easy, so incredibly simple, and just a perfect experience top to bottom that you don't go anywhere else for clothes. You don't go anywhere for fashion. You don't go anywhere else for that secondhand dress or jeans or anything. You need to make it so that they're one and the same. Fashion, Poshmark, Poshmark, clothes. And they just need to fix all of the problems with their existing system first.
Yes, so as we've said millions of times in this video, prioritize the things that are working on your platform and making them perfect. And then if you want to add bells and whistles, do that. Now, I've been listening to the community. This has been the topic of conversation all day today. And I think one of the biggest things that people are very concerned about is the fact that this could make it very hard to sell regular listings, that lives will be promoted over regular listings, that the price point might be affected, things like that. But the thing that I am most concerned about is Poshmark has a track record of tying their new features to being able to make sales, whether that means it's part of Posh Ambassador 2, whether it's the infamous algorithm that's affected, whatever it might be. And I don't want that. Please, there is already a live selling platform and that is amazing for people, but that is not my business model and I don't want it to be a metric I am counted for. So if you're going to do this, Poshmark, I am asking, separate it. Make sure that your sellers that sell just organically and regular on your platform can still do that without penalty if they don't want to go live. That's just my biggest request. Please, please, please don't make it a metric.
I'm just saying, stronger than that, just don't do it. It's just say no. Just stop it. Stop it. Figure out what you need to do. That's not this. And go back to your strengths. Go work on the things that you should be doing better than anyone that you're not. And add this at some point in the future if you want to. But just fix your system. Fix the search. Fix the shopping experience. Fix your platform. That's all we ask. It's not hard. Fix it.
So this one is something that you guys just really need to work on, is seller protection. So I'm sure you've seen the TikToks, right? There's plenty of people out there that talk about how they've been scammed. I understand from a business perspective, it is really hard to know who's telling the truth in these situations and what to do. But I think that the best way that you guys can work on this is making a perk of Poshmark Ambassador 2, a level that you guys created, to be something where there's more seller protection. You have a track record for this person. You know that they are responsible with their sales. They have a good seller rating. They're very engaged. And you will protect them from fraudulent cases like this. You will take their side. I know that is a tough thing to do because it does mean that Poshmark would have to take some things on the chin. However, there has to be a better way. You're losing buyers, you're losing sellers because there is no protection. And that is unfortunately running rampant right now. So please, please, please find a way to protect your sellers better. So Poshmark, if you fix this first, people will be flocking to you, I promise.
And then the last thing that they need to stop doing this, for the love of all things, is the lack of communication, the lack of transparency. It is not okay to just make arbitrary changes and not tell anyone until after the fact.
Yes.
You need to communicate what you're doing, why you're doing, give the people time to adjust, because this is people's livelihood. This is people's business. This is how people pay their bills and pay their mortgage.
Yeah, and to clarify, we know that as an e-commerce app, you are going to be making changes, you're going to be making updates, and it's going to change a lot. What we're asking is that we are brought in the loop when those changes are happening, because we want to change with you. We want to adapt with you. We want to make our listings appropriate to whatever changes you're making. So please just bring us in the loop. I don't know, create maybe a seller newsletter where you have all of the changes coming up and what is going to be required of us for those changes. Something like that where we have insight into exactly what's happening and why. That would be insanely helpful. Please do that. Stop making changes and stop putting us in A/B groups without explaining why, how, when, where, any of that, and just throwing us in there. Please stop.
Just tell us in advance and we will do what you ask us to do. That's common sense. If you tell us, we will do it. We may not be happy about it, but we will do it.
Yes.
Because there is no other option. And these are the things, finally, where they haven't even been discussed by Poshmark that we can see or on their radar, and it's a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah, these are things we think you absolutely should be doing and people would be happy about it. And comments, please, let us know. Like, do you like these ideas? Would you be happy about it? Because if Poshmark sees this, we want to see the excitement for these ideas.
First is, I want, and I've been asking for a long time, for Poshmark to poach someone from eBay that works in the global shipping department and have them figure out a way to link all Poshmark countries together. Posh Canada, Posh US, Posh Australia, Posh India. I want those buyers to see my item. I want those buyers to buy my item. That's the bottom line. I want more people looking to shop, looking to buy. It is a huge opportunity to cross the marketplaces, and it can be done. eBay does it. They've been doing it for years. There is a way. I want you to figure it out.
Absolutely. I know that you're probably working on it, but please let us know. What are you doing? How are you doing? Like, how's the progress? Like, get us in the loop. We're excited about it, so let us know. The next thing is, we would like to see you partnering with experts. So a great way that I see that you could do this is in your own parties. You have these parties that, let's be honest, I mean, they're kind of dead. People don't really use them, and we do share them because we have to, but nobody shops them. But you know how they would shop them is if you partnered with fashion experts, maybe designers, maybe bloggers, somebody in the fashion world who is respected and has a following. You could have them come and talk on these Posh parties and talk about their fashion, their style, their whatever. And then we as sellers can share items that match whatever that person is having a discussion on. So there's this live chat of this really great information with somebody they really love. They come to see them and then they're seeing all these items that match what they're talking about. They'd be more likely to purchase. They know that this person that they respect likes these items and endorses these items, and now us sellers can get more sales and actually use these parties for an active reason.
I think it ties into the building community. It checks off multiple boxes for you. It checks off the wanting to be the go-to place for fashion. It's going to go towards building out a community, having engaged members wanting to share items and talk about items and ask questions or interact with someone that knows something that they don't. And it's an opportunity for people to learn. So you can do so many things by having experts come onto the platform and engage with your users.
Another thing that I would really love to see you do is let's do away with the Posh and Sip. I'm sure there are people that like them, but really that's not doing a lot for your platform. It's really just getting sellers that are already sellers in a room to talk and excited about Poshmark. But what would do something great for you guys is if you change those to pop-up shops. What I would like to see you do is create almost like a fair of sorts where a bunch of sellers in a local area can get together. Poshmark endorses this, and it's a Poshmark pop-up, and we pay $10, $20 for a table, whatever the price may be, and we all can be there and sell under the guise of a Poshmark pop-up. This way, I'm bringing people in from outside to purchase from me, but they're learning about Poshmark in the process. They're seeing all these other Poshmark sellers, and we could even use those nifty QR codes you gave us to hand out at that event so people can shop our closets all year long. It makes the most sense in the world for you, and I'm confused as to why it hasn't happened yet.
You could even offer drinks and call it a Posh and Sip.
I mean, yeah, if you really are married to the Posh and Sip.
Keep the name, change the function. It'd be way more impactful if you could find a way to get buyers and sellers lined up in person rather than just having a conference. So the last thing, and this goes towards a company culture and an identity, it feels like the approach to Poshmark is we want to do everything. We're going to throw out everything and see what lands, and we'll deal with the consequences. When really what you need to do is focus on your strong points. You need to build out the areas that you are better than other places and just make it a better place to shop for clothing. Build out things that work with fashion. So build out the tools that are needed.
Absolutely. So just do one thing and do it better than anyone else. That's all we're asking. We don't need all the bells and whistles. We just need Poshmark to be the best fashion source out there. So that is everything. That is the things we love, the things we wish were a little bit better, the things we hate, and the things that we would love to see you try and implement. I hope that this is helpful for you, Poshmark. I hope that the comments are helpful for you. I hope that this is a way for us to all talk in a positive way to make Poshmark the place that we all want to sell on, the place that we're all hoping it can be.
It's as simple as friends tell other friends the truth, even if it's painful. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back really soon with another video.